What is up, fellow bench warmers? Welcome to your daily fantasy quickie. Hey guys, it's another day, another quickie for us. There's not much news today, with just a few games on the slate. My name is JJT, your host, with commish. Commish, just a few games. Well, there were
a lot. There were seven.
There were
Seven
a
or
lot
nine.
of games, but nothing, I guess, significant in terms of news today. Maybe a little some of the injuries, like Mikal Bridges with the finger injury.
The pinky, I think, dislocated, but according to the X-rays and MRI, there's no broken finger. But I think it's in the shooting hand. They taped it, and he was practicing shooting with it during halftime. He did make a 3-pointer in the second half, but of course it was a blowout in the fourth quarter, so there was not much time to see him really dribble, pass, or shoot with it.
Yeah.
It's a concern because he's not really aggressive already offensively.
Moving on from Mikal, one of my major concerns is Jimmy Butler. Actually, Jimmy Butler missed another game today. That's like his fourth game missed. I'm not sure. I haven't really heard any news about.
This was a 2-game road trip, and he really didn't join it, so there was no way he's gonna play today and tomorrow. So I believe he might come back after this road trip. I think
the road trip. Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Hopefully the next home game he'll be there, because it's been out for quite a while, and of course that's a major loss as well for certain managers in certain teams.
And I heard and I read something that I find very, very true. Jimmy Butler is elite. Like this year, almost a first rounder like Paul George. But so far lately, as he grows older, the small injuries have not become small. I mean, it's not a season-ending injury. It's not a ligament tear. It's not something, but just a sprained ankle, just a bad bruise. It's cost him already around 8 games this year, 8 or 9 games, and we're around 22 or 23 games in. More than a third of the year is out. So, given that, yes, I might not see him as a first rounder this year.
I guess he is. I guess I'm not sure if it's you call it being more cautious. Because last year it was similar. Like there's really not much news. It wasn't really a major injury. Last year he also missed time, more than managers would want. But it wasn't a major injury. But I guess right now, as he age, he does not want to play through some injuries.
I don't think he doesn't want it. I think the body also. I guess he's a notoriously slow healer, Jimmy Butler. And as he grows older, I don't think that's gonna be better. That's gonna improve. So just something to take note in the future, or maybe if someone offers you a Jimmy Butler right now for your first rounder, something to consider, because per game, elite, really good, still good. But these things can eat your team and kill your team sometimes. Instead of 5-4,
the per game is
right?
good, but if the totals would not be there, in a head-to-head, that's going to be a major problem as well. Especially if you get a player of Jimmy Butler's caliber, like a second-round pick, a potential first-rounder, or a borderline first-rounder. Yeah, the per game would be good, yes, but in a head-to-head match, you would like the per game to be good and the totals to be good. So you don't want the players to be missing so many games, right?
I mean, this is the second or third week that Butler will screw your team. from possibly a 6-3, maybe you lost 3-6 or 4-5. You probably lost four cats already. That's big. That's big
Yeah.
in the overall scheme of things. If your team is not like really good, like really, really
Yeah. If you don't
good.
have players you pick at later rounds that have shown better than their draft positions, right? That's going to
Mm-hmm.
be a problem for you if you would rely on Jimmy Butler or maybe your first rounder. Like me, I mean, in the invitationals, I have Jimmy Butler and I have Paul George and I have Devin Booker. So those alone would
You're
kill
out
me
three
because,
players.
yeah, I'm out my first three picks, right? Pretty much my first three picks.
Yeah.
And that alone would, if I don't have players like, players who are overperforming at this point, I'm going to be screwed because I probably won't win the next couple of weeks because of that. And not just won't win, I might be uh I might be losing 2-7s or 3-6 or 1-8. Hopefully not 1-8, but the way I see it, I think 2-7 is a possibility if Butler continues to miss time, and I think Devin Booker probably won't play anymore. I'm just trying to salvage the other
Will not play
stats.
anymore this week.
Yeah, this week. Yeah. So I'm just trying to salvage the other stats, but it's still
Mm.
close. So that's something that I focused more on because my opponent is Joey Villar, and he is a guard heavy lineup. He has a guard heavy lineup. So what I did is I loaded my lineup with bigs. So I have Hassan. I have um I think I have Nazrid. So I have lots of bigs at this point, centers and power forwards that hopefully can carry me through.
Good thing you mentioned Hassan. Just to push gloss over it. I think Hassan is a drop. Has been not good lately.
Yep.
Lately has not been good. I think there's no point. I mean, with Jeremy, of course, he has a strategy. So in general, we're talking in general. Hard to hold him. I did not put Dwight Howard in my buy list, so I'm just giving you some possible replacements if you're in a deep league and you're relying on Hassan. Of course, Nazrid, in case but for other more long term ads, maybe Dwight Howard is
Mm-hmm.
one. Tad Young is another. Um, I'm not sure if he's gonna be the formal official backup center to Jakob Potel, but the last game he was. I'm curious to see tomorrow if he is again. If this is gonna be a thing, then Tad will be better than Hassan also. So
Yeah.
some players just to give you some idea.
Yeah. Dwight actually is when news broke that he's gonna start. I think we talked about him already that he could be an ad already. It's just that the
Especially next week.
schedule
Yes, the
is not
schedule.
nice because they have this game. They
No
just
more.
finished the game and then
Yeah, no more.
there's no
No
more
more.
game this week. So if you add him for the rest of the week,
There's no
now
more.
it's too
Yeah.
late, right? It's too late.
You
You
add him tomorrow, 4 p.m.
Yeah,
For Monday. Correct?
yeah,
No, for Tuesday. For Tuesday, yes. For
yeah,
week 8. For week 8. Because the Lakers have a very, very good schedule. We just released our schedule analyzer, and they have easy schedules and they have good streaming schedule also.
yeah.
So for tomorrow.
So yeah, Jimmy Butler, of course, concerning, and Carl Anthony Towns, as expected, missed today's game. So we
Yep.
talked about Nasri being an ad. He played an okay game. I think he scored well, but the defensive stats weren't there. But that's okay. He usually has one or two blocks per game as well. But today's matchup, I guess, was a bit more challenging because it's the Nets with KD and Harden, and it's a small
Yeah.
lineup as well. So there isn't really much opportunities to match up with a center or maybe a center who is an inside player. Uh, so yeah, Nazarene in replacement of Carl Anthony Towns. There's really no news about Carl Anthony Towns being out for long.
No, he was in the shoot around.
Yeah,
They
so
said
so at
they
least
said
that's good news.
they said it's up to how he feels. But it's obvious that given that it's just 2 days ago, it's probably very sore, still sore. So we're gonna take a little, maybe a couple more days, but he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Yeah. So yeah.
Paul George
Paul
is the one
George.
I'm kind of concerned of with the tweaked ankle. Although he finished the game, hopefully it doesn't swell overnight. They have a game tomorrow, a back-to-back. Let's see. Let's see. If he plays that, then we're good.
So there's so those are our injury reports. Just trying to look into my
Kristaps also
Kristaps was out today.
Out today, not for the ankle, for a sore knee. So
yeah, it's a knee contusion.
I'm not sure if this is a real injury or a rest. I think it's possibly a rest for Kristaps. Though it's a contusion, so it could be a bruise. But I don't know if it's gonna take long. Giannis, meanwhile, is probably out for tomorrow because he's doubtful with the calf. But we thought he was just resting the last game, but apparently the calf is really bothering him. He's doubtful, so I don't think he's gonna play tomorrow.
Yeah. So those are our injury updates. Let's talk about some worry players. We talked about Bradley Beal yesterday being one of the more disappointing players. What's your rest of the season outlook for Bradley Beal? Do you think he'll still get to close to that level wherein we expected or many of us expected?
Bradley Beal, rest of the season, I see him around. I did tell you that I see that this could be a little slip in his game already. I don't know if I mentioned that I think there's a little. He's still in his prime, but there's already a little slip. So I don't think he's top 12 for sure. Mm-hmm. I'll just count the names in my head of the top 12, and I don't think he's there. Top 15 also, I still don't see him. But top 25 maybe. That's where I see him this year. Which, if that is not your projection on him, maybe you thought he's a first rounder. That would be a disappointment for you. But I did not put him as my first rounder this year. I did not have him as a first rounder this year. At the very best, I had him around 16, 17, maybe something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Still not good.
Yeah. And today, what did he do today? Let me see.
I think 14 points. 14 points, 5 rebounds, I think something like that. The Wizards were terrible today, so I'm just gonna bring out
14 points, 6 out of 17. Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring out other names. Spencer Dinwiddie has been terrible for a couple of games already. Actually, for a longer stretch already, 2-3 weeks already. And when he was hot, that's why we told you to sell high on Dinwiddie.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a good game. I think you could try it, sell on Dinwiddie. Kyle Kuzma was another player who I think is really trending down. Of course, Montrezl Harrell, we have already said that. And again, Harrell, 20 minutes, 21 minutes. As we said, now we will see good, we will see bad. We will see good, we will see bad. We'll not see consistent Harrell anymore. So I don't see any Wizard really that is interesting, except Gafford, who also didn't have a good game today. But Gafford is probably the only one trending up there.
Yeah. Well, they were against Cleveland today, and we all know the three-headed center of Cleveland. So I think that might have affected some of the games of these, or at least most of the games of these Wizards. But yeah, definitely lots of worry players there on the Wizards side. Then we also have Matisse Thybulle. Thybulle, we talked about him. He didn't start again. And like we said, if he can't do those elite defensive stats, then that's going to be a problem for Thybulle because he doesn't really contribute anywhere else other than those steals and blocks. And today he had 0 on both stats.
0 on both stats.
Both categories. And he played 24 minutes, which is decent or enough, I guess.
Yes, it's decent enough. I think that's enough for him to usually get 2 steals and a block or 2 blocks. 0 points. We know he doesn't score, but 0 is still bad. The rebounds, 4 rebounds, nothing else. I'm not saying you should drop him, but if you're in a deeper league, in a shallow league, let's say in a 10-team league, in an 8-team league for sure, in a standard league, possibly also. Depends on whoever you can pick up. Because it's hard to hold on someone. Even if he gives you 1 steal, 1 block a game, maybe sometimes it's not enough. Yeah. It has to be the former 4 steals, 2 blocks kind of a situation for Tybul to really hold him. If he's just going to give you 1 steal a game, I don't see that as a must hold.
It's not enough. I think 2 steals at least and maybe a block at least, that be a little more solid. But yeah, maybe just a 14 team. And I think, Tybul's presents as someone who's really a specialist, right? If you just need, you're pretty much set on the other categories and just want to use to beef up your steals and blocks categories, then you can maybe hold on to him, because there's really not much players out there who can give you those stocks consistently. So yeah, but if you are relying on him on other things, then you might want to look into the other buy players that we have. Players like Royce O'Neal could be a better player because he can also give you those defensive stats. The good thing, is that he can give you rebounds as well and score.
Jason Tate, probably not available after his big game the last time out, and he had a good game today. But in 10-team leagues, there's possibility he's still available. So he's one guy who I think is trending up and is definitely a better player than Matisse Tybul right now to own. The big thing there was he was put into power forward, small ball 4. So that helped his value because that last year that's how he got his value, and now they're going back to that and they're winning. So Tate is someone that's really someone to consider for shallower leagues.
Yeah.
There.
Since we're there, Eric Gordon is another buy. I've been seeing a lot of Eric Gordon as well in 14 teams. Still, I think offensively one of the better offensive options of Houston today. He got the game-winning shot, and I think the game-tying shot as well was made by him. Right? I think he made two scores that were very crucial to this game. 24 points, four threes.
KPJ played today. I don't understand what Houston is doing. They said he might be out a while, but he started today. And then he went out again because he re-aggravated the injury. So I can't I don't know what Houston is doing, but they're winning. Christian Wood also started and played. So I'm just logically thinking that maybe KPJ will be out for the next game because this is the second straight game he couldn't finish the game. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. We don't know if that will be the case. But if that's the case, they are out Green, they are out KPJ. So Eric Gordon, as we said, probably will start point guard. Probably. Garrison Matthews. Although in the second half, actually, Armoni Brooks started at point guard for KPJ.
It's either Brooks or usually, maybe Gordon could play some, point guard from time to time, but I doubt that he'll start at point guard too.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not start at point guard, but
probably within the game he'll get some point guard duties. From time to time. Who else are by? We talked about Naz Reid. I talked about Royce O'Neal, another player who's very has always been dropped and seen as a streamer. But so far, I've added him in a lot of leagues, Royce O'Neal, and he's been solid. Other than I think he missed a game the other day. Other than that, he's been really solid this year.
Yeah, he got injured. I think a sprain. Yeah. He missed 2 games, I think. So maybe he was dropped. For sure, he was dropped. So if he's available in your leagues, it's someone to consider. Of course, we talked about Kristaps getting injured. So I'm not getting injured, but I think has some injury. If that is really an injury and he's gonna miss some games, of course, Maxi Kleber, who finally had a good game a while ago, Dorian Finney-Smith. As
Mm-hmm.
as we always say, if Kristaps goes down, these two can benefit. So they're also good ads, goodbye players, I think.
Yeah, and you know, these are the utility
Luke
guys
Kennard.
that we
Yeah,
talked
Luke
about.
Kennard.
Luke Kennard, if Paul George, did he play well today? I didn't
Yeah,
notice if he
even if
played.
Luke Kennard killed the Lakers today, 7 3-pointers, and he hit the two, well, with Marcus Morris, the 2 3-pointers that won the game for the Clippers. And I streamed him today, so I'm very happy. But of course, it's against the Lakers. If it's against the Lakers, you stream them. A tip, by the way, we talk about Charlotte as a team that gives up a lot of points to bigs. The Lakers give up a lot of points to 3-pointers, shooters, 3-point shooters. So you have to remember that when you stream. So Luke Kennard. There are a lot of Luke Kennards though right now. I mean,
There are a lot.
Garrison Matthews is another player who's getting
Yeah.
a lot of burn with Houston. So there are a lot of them. Gary Harris, another player maybe you want to consider if if you need some help also getting a lot of minutes in Orlando. Not top level stats, but okay. I mean, it's okay. Get steals, doing a little better than expected. So those players.
Also, Ibaka started today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm not sure if there's significant interest there in terms of fantasy, in terms of his value. He had
It's
9 points, 6 rebounds,
yes.
3 assists. So not bad numbers. He also had three pointers. So in
He
28 minutes.
the key there is they started big. They went with
Yeah.
Marcus Morris, Ibaka, and Zubac. I don't think that will happen regularly. I think they were just matching up with LeBron and AD and Dwight. That's a big front court.
Yeah.
I doubt that will continue. So I'm kind of not really that high on Ibaka yet, unless I see he's really gonna be the starting power forward. I doubt it. Marcus Morris, big game, not buying
Is
it
this
also.
his first game back?
Second game.
Second game back.
Not buying it. He can get hot, but doesn't do much else, and he can miss a lot and tank your field goal. So not really that high on Marcus Morris.
All right. So yeah, Luke Kennard by player. Garrison Matthews, another player who can shoot threes. And Malik Monk. So pretty much the same type of players in our buy list. Like we said, there's lots of threes
Yes.
in the free agent pool. Yeah, and we talked about Dwight, a player that you might want if you needed the center. Yeah, he is still available there. So if you feel like you were good, at least you can manage the next couple of days for the week. Dwight Howard could be a good add as well in our five players. Let's talk about feel good players. There were a lot. Caris Levert played well. Players we talked about
just last night.
just last night. Caris Levert. Well, Duncan Robinson was a question last night that was asked. Also, played well. Jason Tatum, another player who played well today. Draymond Green, we've been talking about Draymond Green, also played well. Um, Darius Garland, we love Darius Garland so far. And today he had a double-double, almost a triple-double. Today, I think he had 32 points, 10 assists, and 8 rebounds.
8 rebounds, yes.
So really solid in terms of, getting Darius Garland in your roster. Yeah, and who else are feel-good players? Nothing surprising. Is there anyone that surprised you today?
I mean, Levert, Raymond, and all those guys that we've talked about. Not surprising. I'm pretty sure they would have a good game here and there. Draymond, one thing about Draymond is the 6 steals, 3 blocks kind of thing is the one we want. If he can give you those numbers, 999, so that's almost that's what you call the almost triple double special. I mean, 999 special, but that's not how he usually plays anymore. The 999, yes, But the 6 steals, 3 blocks, no, not anymore. I think he's more of a 2 steals, 1 block kind of a guy, and sometimes not even 1 block. So don't expect this. One thing about Draymond is he usually shows up for big games. That's one thing about him. At this stage of his career, especially at this stage of his career, if it's a big game, Lakers, the Suns, maybe the
And this is
Nets,
a revenge game for them.
and a revenge game and a nationally televised game. So he was really in his element today. That's good to see.
Yeah.
I will bump him a little bit high, a little bit up, a little bit, but not too high. Levert,
Levert is really, as a
hit or miss.
player who is a scorer, he's gonna be, on and off, and he's not the elite level scorer. If you look at the scoring of scorers, I guess there's the elite kind of scorers who can really give you good scoring night in, night out. These are the James Hardens, the Damian Lillard, the Kevin Durant. Those scorers can consistently give you. I mean, you really won't worry about them scoring the ball. And then, of course, there are players like Levert, who is a scorer, but they're on a lower tier scoring. So, as with scorers, you know what you're going to get here and there. You're going to get some hits, you're going to get some misses. And that's really Levert. I mean, the biggest thing for Levert, because when he was in Brooklyn, though, I think he had other stats like assists, like the rebounding, right? Now you don't see much of those anymore with him. He's really more like a scorer type of player.
He's just a scorer. Yes.
Yeah. Before, go. Let's finish Levert, and I'll ask you something about Indiana, because they did start Sabonis, right?
Yes, because of a family issue. According to Sabonis, he had to deal with something, but it's taken care of, so he's fine. He's fine.
All right, so he
with the Levert thing, it's a hit or miss thing. He's 30-something% this year. Even if he makes it to 45-43%, it's okay, but I'm not too excited about it. It doesn't give me, anything else. So I'd pass on him.
Even if you're a Levert owner, you won't be excited about games like this. You'll be actually relieved with games like these. Not really excited that, this is it. This is the Levert that I drafted. Nothing of those. I think
the question for you is, who do you think will be better this year, Levert or Fournier, among the two of them?
I think Levert, though. I'd still go with Levert. The role, though,
okay.
I just feel like the role is bigger with Levert than with Fournier. Both are inconsistent as well. Both are inconsistent so far. I think if there's one thing that Levert's gonna be at least at a disadvantage, is the percentages.
Yes, that's why I think I'm gonna pick Fournier, because he sucks. Fournier sucks. Sometimes he can be invisible, but Levert can suck and be invisible and kill you in the field goal. So maybe that's the only reason I'll choose Fournier. But I'm really not interested in both of them. And our buy list today is a reason why.
There are a lot to score.
There are a lot.
Yeah. I think, Eric Gordon, I like Eric Gordon more.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as he's healthy and he continues to start with the Rockets, without Jalen Green, I think I like Eric Gordon more.
And the thing is, you could tell us, like KCP, he was terrible today, so we could say, see that they're not consistent. But the point is, there's 2, 3, sometimes 1, 2, 3 week period of time when these players actually rank higher than your Levert, your Fournier. So if you just time it right, like pick up these players, use them or how long they're hot, and then drop them and get another player who's hot next time, you can basically fill that roster, that shooter that you need, the scorer that you need in the waiver wire, which is a point guard or a center. You can't do that. You can't do that.
Yeah, and I guess another difference with those players is that Levert, a player like Levert, you probably used a higher pick to
Yeah,
get him,
that's
right?
true.
KCP, you probably your end of the roster guy. Even
Mm-hmm.
players like Eric Gordon, players like who else have been hot? Well, obviously Garrison Matthews was not drafted. Malik Monk. These
Was
are
not drafted.
end of the roster types of players. Fournier was a lower end draft pick, right? Outside top 100, I guess, when he was picked. So Levert though was somehow picked either within seventh round, sometimes eighth, right? So he was not as low as the other guys, and that's
Same
what
with
hurts.
Duncan Robinson.
Duncan
It's the
was
same.
picked really high for
Yeah,
some drafts.
and he's a feel good player for us today. And it's the same situation. Whether you pick him 10th, whether you pick him 11th, I don't care. You still picked him. You still use a draft capital on him. Which, if he gives you 5 threes a game, I can make that 5 threes up right now in the waiver wire. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm not high on Duncan. I don't care if he scored 24 points today. He, I mean,
No,
yes,
you'll
sure.
get those games, right?
Yes.
You have to understand that in 82 games, I don't think Duncan Robinson will suck all 82 games.
Yes.
Right? He'll get those. He's a shooter. He's gonna continue shooting, and there would be a
Mm-hmm.
game, 2 games, 3 games, or even 5 games, even 10 games, right? Wherein he'll
Mm-hmm.
be good. Maybe not as this good, but he'll be okay. So, but overall, that might not be true in terms of his performance.
Yep.
All right, so yeah, pretty much that's it. It's just a short quickie today because there's really not much happening in with the games, and no disappointing players so far. Nothing other than the Bradley Beals out there, and nothing that we haven't really talked about yet. So we'll see what happens tomorrow and on Judgment Day. Weekly Analyzer has already been uploaded. Actually, it was uploaded last week, right? But
Yeah. We did last week.
re-uploaded this week. So if you want to prepare for the next week, you can start doing that in terms of your weekly streaming, so that you'll be the first one to pick up the players that you want, right?
Simple summary. The Spurs have 5 games. That's what you need to know.
Yep.
And the Hawks, is it the Hawks? The Suns, the Raptors, and the Hawks. Yeah, they have 2 games. So if you have Trey, you have Chris Paul, Van Vliet,
Yeah, Van Vliet,
Ayton,
Siakam,
Capela,
those
yeah,
players.
Capela, Siakam, be prepared. And
Yeah.
hopefully you don't play against DeJounte Murray next week. uh, you'll be in trouble. I don't
Um,
know. I haven't seen my matchups, but I hope I don't
I
I
have a
don't
lot
play
of
him.
Murrays. I have a lot of DeJounte
So good for
Murrays.
you.
And last week was a problem for me because, the Spurs schedule wasn't as good last week.
Yes.
But one last thing, Jarrett Allen played another great game today.
Yeah.
My question to you is really, do you really think Clint Capela still ranks higher than Jarrett Allen?
Yeah. I still think Clint Capela is higher.
You think they'll end up close?
No.
Clint
Capela
Capela,
Capela is a top 30 guy for me. I mean, at the best, they could end up close. I'm just saying that if, Capela plays well and Jarrett Allen plays well, Capela would be top 30. Allen would probably be top 45. Allen is playing well. He's 42nd right now. So, yeah, where is the difference? The blocks, for one.
mhm.
Capela is more elite in blocks. So that's a big difference. They're almost the same in every other categories. So I'll be okay. Actually, I'll be okay if you want Jarrett Allen more than Capela. Maybe because of Capela being more injury prone or whatever reason you have. It's okay for me. It's just that if you're asking me who's higher,
I'm
I
just
think
curious
Capela is
because
higher.
I have a team where I have Jarrett Allen, and I have a team where I have Clint Capela, and I can somehow compare them. So far, Capela has had an okay past few games, and Jarrett Allen has been good since the big three. Their big three came back, right? I mean, he wasn't as good as this early in the season, so that's why I'm really uh, happy with how Jarrett Allen has been performing. A little bit disappointed with Clint Capela because those big rebounding numbers aren't there yet.
Capela is number 2 the past 2 weeks overall in fantasy. But I agree with you. The past 2 games, I think he has had bad games. The past 2 games. Yeah. But before that stretch.
Yeah, before that he was okay. He was good.
It's crazy. And Allen can't reach that. That's my point. The peak of Capela, that stretch of Capela where we had 20 rebounds, sometimes 3 steals, 3 blocks. That kind of peak, I don't think Allen can reach that this year. He's averaging 71% in field goal, Jarrett Allen.
Yeah.
Can he continue scoring 71%?
No,
I don't know.
60
maybe 60. Maybe
that's a big drop already.
That's a big
60.
drop.
That's a big drop. I think 60 might be very pessimistic already. Because that's a big drop.
I think 64, 65.
Yeah.
Maybe, but 6% is also big.
But you're right. It's the rebounding. The rebounding would probably be not as good as Capela.
Yes.
And the blocks would not be as consistent as Capela's numbers. So I think that's where the difference would lie. All right, so yeah, that's it for our quickie. And yeah, I think I lost commish for a bit. And yeah, but I'll probably just end it there. And we'll see you again tomorrow for our Sunday edition of the quickie, and of course, Judgment Day on Monday. Bye, guys.